All right, so that would have been it. People pretty much saw through her bullshit. Nobody took her seriously. She got 230,000 views, but only 1.8 thousand likes, which means that less than 1% of the people watching thumbs up her video, and that's a terrible ratio. So it's just like, they see through you. And it would have just ended there where people just dismissed her. People would have moved on and continued to support Jo. If anything, her video made people support Jo more. But then this happened. This woman named UnnaturalVegan posted a video called, "I hate YouTube. GrowWithJo is misleading you." So you remember that question when I said, can you think of anything that you hate about YouTube? Top 3 things, whatever. Did any of this come to your mind? I didn't think so. So her thumbnail says, "This ain't it, girl." The last thing anybody wants to see on YouTube is a white woman with brown hair, typical Karen getup, and glasses, posting a comment saying, "This ain't it, girl," in her thumbnail. Putting a blurry background of the other video because that way it can be put up right under Jo's video. When you type GrowWithJo exposed, they're back to back. So she knows what she's doing. She's trying to draw attention and she uses the same misleading title or in the same way. She is misleading you. It's like, you guys got it wrong. I'm gonna correct you. All right, so let's get into this one. Thank God this one's like only 10 minutes really.
This has been in my brain for days now and it won't leave, so I thought maybe if I make a video.
It's the same thing as other. It's been in my brain. It's just in my head. I'm getting obsessed with it. Oh my God.
Finally will. GrowWithJo is a very big fitness channel.
The first thing she brings up, I'm telling you, you can't not think about it. Vegan is in her channel name. When someone is your competition, you cannot not think about how much bigger they are than you.
She started relatively recently and has...
Oh my God, just listen. She's like, she's this big person, started recently. Yeah, and she surpassed you. Just like she's surpassing everyone. I mean, even here, she's reminding me of Usain Bolt.
Is a very big fitness channel. She started relatively recently and has really grown. I do some of her cardio walking workouts. They're usually pretty low impact. It's got the crap royalty-free epidemic sound music that we all love. She doesn't.
So you're clearly being sarcastic and saying it's shit. This is already misleading and I'm going to tell you why. I can't play the songs that Jo puts in her videos because they're copywritten, but she has a Bruno Mars dance party where she plays some of his greatest hits. She has a Beyonce dance party where she does that. She has a K-pop one, and understand she's dressing up for these videos. I forgot to mention that before, but that's another thing that she does to add to the atmosphere to really make you feel like you're going to a party. It's all about the impression that you give. But they're all these copywritten songs. She even has one for kids where it's like Disney music. So it's not just crap royalty-free music. And the fact that your video is 2 months old, the fact that you're just calling it crappy royalty-free stuff, first of all, it's not even crappy royalty-free stuff. It actually puts you in the mood to work out because it sounds catchy. It sounds like workout music. It puts you into the rhythm of the moves. It's not like she's putting something that's offbeat in there. What are you talking about? So we're already off to like a terrible start, but you know, we can keep going.
That we all love. She doesn't talk, which is nice. And she's just really cute. She's fun to watch. She's like smiling the whole time. She's adorable.
Her.
But I kind of feel...
Let me compliment her before I get ready to tear her down like the last chick. It's cute.
I kind of feel bad watching her stuff because she does some stuff I don't really agree with. Some of her thumbnails, a walk that's going to help you reduce.
From a year ago. Your video's 2 months old. And that means it's over a year ago, by the way. So when you see it say something like this, it actually means it's over a year plus. Some of her stuff, like show something recent. What's wrong with you?
Specifically lower belly fat. But overall, she's very motivating. She's getting people to move, hopefully, maybe. So that's good.
Hopefully, maybe so. Did you not read the comments? We know that she read the comments. So you know that it's helping people. It's not a maybe. So you're misleading people again, but you're going to try to expose Jo.
It's getting people to move, hopefully, maybe. So that's good. Point is, this video popped up. GrowWithJo is misleading you. What's the truth by Frumpy Fit. It was a very nice, well-worded, nuanced video about GrowWithJo, talking about exactly what I just talked about, promoting this idea of spot training, right? You can spot reduce fat. If you do some arm movements, you can specifically remove fat here. What? The thumbnail where she has it photoshopped where she has arm fat and then she doesn't.
There's no diet or exercise that you can do that's going to target a specific area over others. You could add muscle size or muscle tone to that area that might
She got that wrong and you're putting it in your video, so
help change the appearance of it, but you're not decreasing the fat mass in that area. And I think it's irresponsible to claim that you can do so.
Again, there's a lot of nuance. Maybe it's not that bad because it's getting people to move, but also like you're misleading people.
When you're stressed out, your body like stops all.
you hear how she downplayed it?
Maybe it's not that bad because it's getting people to move, but
It's not that bad because you're getting people to move. No, she's not getting people to move. She's helping people to get in shape, to get healthier, to lose weight, to gain confidence, and to have freedom, like to be mentally well. She's literally healing people's minds, and you reduce that to she's getting them to move. Oh my God. Even you are doing the workouts. If it's just getting you to move, why don't you do something that's better for your health then? Lady, like what?
When you're stressed out, your body like stops all fat loss, which is not true.
Oh my God. She says GrowWithJo says this in a video. I showed you the video.
Then you're not going to be able to lose fat because when you're stressed out, your body like stops all fat loss, which is not true. But am I mad at...
I'm gonna go see exactly how she said it because I don't trust this lady at all.
It's actually a scientific thing. Your body, when you get stressed out about certain things, your body just stops all fat loss mechanisms and is like, nah, we're gonna focus on preserving ourselves. We're not gonna lose fat.
Like, I can't believe I actually have to do this. She still corrects herself and says, well, it reduces the ability. But it must be a crime to not just re-record the text that's on the screen. Is that what you're insinuating, that she should have re-recorded it? Because did you not remember what you just did a few minutes ago?
You could add muscle size or muscle tone to that area that might help change the appearance.
Oh, well, tone, quote unquote. Toning technically doesn't exist. That to me looks like a correction to what you just said. So you got it wrong too, like both of you are brain dead.
Your body like stops all fat loss, which is not true. But am I mad at the result of that advice being people aiming for a reduction in stress?
Oh my God.
No. Am I mad that she's getting tons of people to exercise and be motivated? No.
asking
I love how you skip past all the bullshit that she said in between all that stuff to make her seem as, this is like, it makes me think of a political ad.
being like, how bad is this?
What do you think in terms of clickbaiting is crossing the line? What do you feel like is misleading? How much of the responsibility do you feel like falls on the creator versus the consumer?
She references another YouTuber, Chloe Ting. I guess she got in a lot of trouble for that because she said, look, Chloe Ting.
You guess, so you don't even know about it. You didn't do your research, but you want to bring it up as an accurate thing to bring up. What?
Doing the same sort of thing. She had a video that was like, get abs in 10 weeks. No, I think it was 10 days. She got responses from people saying,
You don't even remember? Like, I just, like, don't even bring it up if you're not going to look into it. It's okay to get stuff wrong, but she didn't even look into it in the first place. Stop.
well, yeah, like everyone knows you're not really going to have abs in 10 days.
I know people personally who did Chloe Ting's workouts expecting to get a specific result that they did not get because they were misled by the title and the thumbnail. She took before and after photos of her stomach, wanting to see how much progress she would get on her stomach specifically from these Chloe Ting workouts. And she was incredibly disappointed with the results.
And it's really unfair to just like call people stupid if they do believe it. Like, oh, you should already know it's clickbait. And if you don't, sucks for you. You're an idiot. And
Who said it though? You didn't show a single comment that said that. What are you talking about? What are you talking, like, what? You can't just make, that's literally the definition of a straw man. The fuck?
she's right. It is unfair, and it's not smart
This
to
made-up thing that we made up together is unfair. She's right.
assume that. If you read comments, which I do sometimes on fitness videos, most of them are just like, hey, thank you so much, I've lost X amount of weight, and it's like really positive. And then you'll get some from people who clearly don't know anything about fitness, exercising, nutrition, often young girls. I'm 11, how do I make my...
Can you show a comment? What the fuck is your problem? Like, no. Okay, anybody who is subscribed to me knows I don't like it when people use children to their own benefit. So I'm just prefacing that now. Do not use imaginary comments of children to criticize Joe's workout videos. That is a problem. You want to talk about misleading? I have never seen a comment from a single child in her content saying, man, I hope I can look like you one day, Joe. Because you want to understand something that these people don't bring up. The reason why it's okay that somebody makes one video addressing a topic every now and then instead of putting in every video is because of something that I just mentioned in the last video that I did. Your audience will fill in the blanks for you when you cultivate an audience from accurate information, or any information, honestly. They will tell people, she made a video on this. She has talked about this in the past if you're commenting something and you got it wrong. They will inform these people for her because she can't talk to 4 million people. It's not her job. People don't even watch entire videos, so even if you put information in a video, they'll just skip right past the beginning. They don't care. So when you say...
And then you'll get some from people who clearly don't know anything about fitness, exercising, nutrition, often young girls. I'm 11. How do I make my baby fat go away? You know.
So don't ever, I don't care how exaggerated you want to make that phrase to make it seem like you're being sarcastic. It was a serious point that you were making. There are no 11-year-olds asking Joe how to lose baby fat. And she's not trying to tell them how to lose baby fat in the first place. She's only showing mothers how to lose their baby fat from pregnancy because she was a pregnant mother. So get it right if you're going to criticize it at all. You want to talk about irresponsible.
How do I make my tummy fat go away? That sort of thing. Like, they probably would believe that you could get abs in 10 days.
They probably. I don't know, but they probably.
She mentions her bias.
I acknowledge that a lot of times I have a stick up my butt.
She mentions her bias. She acknowledges it.
Believe that you could get abs in 10 days. She mentions her bias.
I acknowledge that a lot of times I have a stick up my butt.
That wasn't her acknowledging anything, and she literally did mention it. And the reason why she mentioned it was so that she could avoid criticism for it. It's called lampshading.
Times I have a stick up my butt. I tend to take everything really seriously. For a while, I'm getting over it. Thought it was misleading to take a screenshot of my facial expression from a different video and use it on a thumbnail of like
virtue signaling. I thought that this was bad, you know, and so I didn't do it because I just felt so icky about it. That's how much I care.
This video. I thought that was misleading to the point where it felt icky for me to do it. Does anybody care? I was like, well, they're gonna see in the thumbnail that I'm wearing a yellow shirt, and then when they're watching the video, I'm wearing a black shirt, and like, that's misleading.
Which I 100% know what she's talking about. Point is, she's acknowledging that.
Yeah. Because you think like her, so you want to defend her because you feel like it was a personal attack on you that people didn't agree with her.
That's silly. It's like when I talk about family vlogging, I make sure that people know, look, I don't say my kids' names. I don't even say their genders. Like, that's how reserved and kind of crazy I am with this. So I might be coming down harder on family vlogging than I should. And that's what she's saying here, which you never see. I never see someone acknowledging something like that in a...
She's like literally crossing hairs. Like, those two things do not relate in any way, because one's about a thumbnail and the other one's about protecting your kids. Like, you see how people draw parallels from shit and just misconstrue things? Like, you do not equate protecting a child's safety online from predators, that's what you're talking about, from predatory behavior online, to someone not wanting their thumbnail to be slightly misleading, even though they thought that the misleading nature of the thumbnail was obvious. Those are not even in the same universe, let alone the same ballpark, lady.
Critique. Just a really good video. And so I thought, well...
Yes, and that's my point. She's like, it's just a really good video. Like, I love this video, so like, they don't love it. I have to tell them that they should.
I'm gonna go down to the comments. I bet there's lots of people telling her what a great video this is.
You would have known that wasn't the case if you looked at the ratio of her likes to her views. Fair warning, I'm going to talk about this for quite a bit because it's her thumbnail. It's worth dissecting and talking about.
I'm gonna go down to the comments. I bet there's lots of people telling her what a great video this is. Oh my God. This ain't it, girl. Her workouts actually work and she's positive and helps a lot of people actually lose weight.
Oh my God. Hang on, look at her. Look at her.
This ain't it, girl. Her workouts actually work and she's positive and helps a lot of people actually lose weight. I've been doing her workouts for 2 months and lost 20 pounds.
Did you hear how she read that? You can hear the racism in her voice. Like, I'm gonna plug it again. I just talked about how Black people live in a constant state of anxiety because one white person may be okay with what they're doing, just regular casual things from their culture, and another white person might not even care or even notice. But then they can come across another white person who has an issue with it. And just the way that she was reading it, she's like, blah, 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 blah.
This ain't it, girl. Her workouts actually work and she's positive and helps a lot of people actually lose weight. I've been doing her workouts for 2 months and lost 20 pounds.
Like, she literally gave the comment this attitude just because it started off with, this ain't it, girl. Usually when Black people say that, they're not like, this ain't it, girl, and let me tell you this and roll my neck and excuse me. Like, they're just like, this ain't it, girl. Her workouts actually work, and she's positive and helps a lot of people actually lose weight. I've been doing her workouts for 2 months and lost 20 pounds. Like, just think about the way that you're going to represent these people. If you're going to make that the first comment that you read and you want to talk about hyperfixating on morality, okay? You just got done virtue signaling that shit. And then the first thing you do is make a mockery of a very typical Black phrase in a negative way. Like, what? Ah. Oh my God.
A lot of people actually lose weight. I've been doing her workouts for 2 months and lost 20 pounds. 1.6 thousand upvotes. This ain't it, girl. If there is a worse phrase in the English language.
Oh my fucking God. Like, I can't. Why would you say that? You edited this video. You could have cut it out. You didn't have to put it in there. It was your choice. You saw this clip and thought, this is gonna be so great. It's gonna be so great. I'm gonna put it in my thumbnail. Oh my fucking God. Okay. Let's just hear the rest of what she says before I say anything, because I'm getting goosebumps. I get goosebumps when things are like really cringe, okay?
I guess buckle up when there's a long girl. I did her workouts for 2 months and lost 20 pounds. 1.6 thousand upvotes. This ain't it, girl. If there is a worse phrase in the English language, I guess buckle up when there's a long Twitter thread. Buckle up, get ready.
You see how this is by design, okay? This was on purpose. She knew that what she did was just kind of fucking racist. The attitude behind how she read it, the fact that she said that that's the most annoying phrase in the English language. This is someone who's trying to act like they're not seeing color right now, and you cannot say a phrase like that without thinking about Black people. I don't care. You can call it speculation or whatever. It is impossible to not think about it. And scientists have already proven how racism affects people every day, so the logic just is not on your side. The facts are not on your side. It's in her head. And then so that she can obfuscate the connection between what she just said and this, as if, I just have an issue with phrases. Doesn't matter if it's white or Black. Could you imagine if she said the most annoying thing she's ever heard an American say was essay? Essay. I just hate it every time I hear anyone say it. That and right next to buckle up, or buckle up. Let me use the accent to really show I'm being fair here. If you thought buckle up was more frustrating than this ain't it, you would have put that in your thumbnail, or you wouldn't have put it in the thumbnail at all in the first place.
It's a long Twitter thread. Buckle up, get ready. I'm going to drop some knowledge on you.
And that's like a form of lying too, where people just go on and on and on about the off-topic thing because they really want you to be distracted from the thing that they just said.
Oh, God. I'd like to apologize to myself first, to Joe and her community for clicking on this video. Thank goodness I didn't even go further than 1 minute and 12 seconds.
Yeah, because it was bullshit, and you could tell from the first fucking minute and 12 seconds. It was full of lies. Even I had to pause and talk for a while at the beginning because she was pointing out thumbnails from 3 years ago. Nothing that was recent. Not a single, what?
Thank goodness I didn't even go further than 1 minute and 12 seconds.
The funniest thing is she complains about her not watching the whole video, and you didn't even read the whole comment that is doing the thing you just criticized her for, which is hypocritical. She didn't even show the whole comment. But if you read it, it says, Joe has me feeling so motivated, happy, and confident. I love her community and how she just... And who knows what the fuck else she said, even though 466 people liked it. You're not even gonna let people pause to read it. What the fuck? But Joe is misleading. Okay.
Thank goodness I didn't even go further than 1 minute and 12 seconds. Not you calling out clickbait with clickbait. How does anyone find a way to hate on Joe? Again, the title is Grow with Joe is Misleading.
I just want to see what else she said. She literally motivates people with her workout and does it with a smile. Some of us don't have access to a gym. That's a very important thing to read out loud in your video. And actually find her workouts helpful because I can do them at the comfort of my home. I am grateful for Joe's workouts because I find them useful for my overall health. 2.3 thousand likes. And you're just like, whatever, because she called it clickbait with clickbait. What is fair about your assessment here?
Clickbait with clickbait. How does anyone find a way to hate on Joe? Again, the title is Grow with Joe is Misleading You. What's the truth?
Yeah, and she's using a picture from Joe where she's like, wow, this is an intense workout, and instead makes her look like she's doing an oopsie, showing thumbnails from literally, it says here, 2 years ago in this top one, or 3, I think it says there. Can't see the other 2, but they're from a while ago. You can just tell from the design. Oh, this is the other one, 12-minute fat burn. So I guess that's misleading for it saying fat burn, so I missed one. But it's not even that big of a deal of a text phrase, and the woman herself got muscle tone wrong, and she had to correct herself as well. So it's like, what the fuck?
which is not clickbait. If by clickbait we mean getting people to click on something and it's not actually in the video, or it's misleading, again, like telling people they can get abs in 10 days or they can specifically remove arms.
Or that Joe said something that she quite did not say verbatim or in any context whatsoever, not even facetiously. Like, yeah, that's misleading to put words in this woman's mouth. It's misleading to equate her to Chloe Tang at all. Yeah, that's misleading.
Fat by doing arm workouts, that is misleading. The calorie burn, Frumpy Fit. She also talks about the calorie burn, which is something I've also noticed. 45-minute workout and it says burn 600 calories. In what world? The amount of calories you burn is based on your intensity. It's also based on your sex. It's based on your age.
She's talked about this too, so what are you talking about?
Today we are going to be talking about calories. How many calories do you need to reach your goal? Calorie is a unit of energy. Sometimes in my videos I give you a calorie value so that you kind of know, like, okay, this is 100 calories. Okay, this is how much energy I'm going to be using to do this workout. Or this is 800 calories. This is going to be a lot more energy. On the other hand, calorie is also how much you consume. This is how much energy you're consuming. One thing to know, it's very important. You do not want to take the calories that you have exercised, the energy that you've put out, and be like, okay, I burned 200 calories today. Okay, I can have 200 extra calories today because that's the amount of calories that I burn. Calories aren't always, especially calorie trackers, none of them are 100% accurate, but it is a good unit to know how much energy you're going to be exerting for the workout.
It's based on your weight. You can't just say this workout burns 600 calories, especially.
You can't say it because it says it on the fucking thing. That's why YouTube's not going to take it down, because if your Fitbit, whatever the fuck it's called, says 600 calories on it, you can put that in your thumbnail. And why are you wearing one? Both of you are wearing one.
600 calories in 45 minutes. I think she has one that's like 800 calories in an hour. Like, again, what? That is so unlikely for like anyone. I will never understand how people find so much time to trash other people. Oh, here's my favorite. You're a different kind is miserable. You're a different kind of miserable when all she's saying is, hey, this person's just posting miserable.
She says her workouts are exactly what they are. Workouts. Nothing works without consistency. Did you, like, why would you not read that comment out? Everyone's educating you. They're bringing up actual information that's helpful to understand why they view what she's doing as helpful and healthy. They got the whole consistency thing from her because she says it all the time.
You keep putting in the consistent effort if you stay consistent. But when I started walking, when I started moving my body and getting consistent, that's when I started to see true and lasting results. You're gonna see amazing results from this workout, but you gotta stay consistent to see true and lasting results. Our focus is on consistency, not necessarily just the time of the day.
Her calories on her videos are what her body burns. I've been doing her stuff for a year and she truly helps me out of my slumps. If you do them and not only watch them, I promise your mood will boost. You clearly need it. She's like, I do some of her workouts. Maybe you do more of them because you're not being consistent enough. The hell?
You're a different kind of miserable when all she's saying is, hey, this person's just posting misleading stuff. That's, oh my goodness. I despise YouTube.
You despise YouTube when they're right. Even if they were wrong, this is what you despise YouTube for? Like, you know how many toxic health influencers are on YouTube? People who are just shaming people for not doing things that they deem they should be doing for their health. There's toxic vegans out there who are telling people that you deserve to die because you eat meat. There's people who are telling fat people that they're worthless because they're overweight. Like, and this is what makes you despise YouTube. There's predatory behavior that you have to protect your children from, and this is why you despise YouTube. Can you come down a little bit? Just come down. You're floating away.
It's not just YouTube, it's just people. And people becoming obsessed with other people they don't even know.
That's what you just did. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Cause this is ridiculous. Like, this is like a comedy.
It's so strange, and just defending them so vehemently.
Projection.
And calling someone miserable. I'm so happy to see that every comment here is positive and in support.
Okay, well, let's look at her body language. Remember how Joe was talking when she was happy and pleasant and just being friendly and people were connecting with her? And look at her. Yeah, this looks like a really happy person. Like, you don't look miserable at all. Okay, you look super happy.
Well, I'm so happy to see that every comment here is positive and in support of Joe. Yes, calling someone miserable. I'm so
like, I find it funny. She's like, they only watched 1.5 minutes of her video, and every comment you're only reading the first sentence. Like, you don't even have to cut down your content because your video is under 9 minutes. It says her videos are free and super attainable to people who are out of shape and filled with positivity. I started watching her videos while Australia had a long, depressing COVID breakdown. Aside from losing some weight, her videos have already helped my mental health. I'm glad to see so many other ladies agree with. And it's like cut off somehow.
Happy to see that every comment here is positive and in support of Joe. Yes, calling someone miserable is really positive. What's that?
No, they're calling this woman miserable because she is. They're positively banding together to support Joe. They could have called her much worse. Like, that's something that you can accurately say. You look miserable right now. Like, she was miserable. She said herself, I have a stick up my butt. That's a miserable person. She's like, I have anxiety about this little thumbnail. That means you're miserable.
That phrase, toxic positivity, I love that so much. Being positive.
Even though you're doing it yourself right now.
When miserable is really positive. What's that phrase, toxic positivity? I love that so much. Being positive all the time can be dangerous because it can mean that you're misleading people. It can mean that you aren't opening yourself.
Wow. I told you guys, I hate toxic positivity. I hate positive people. And the fact that I have to defend someone as positive as Joe is just fucking depressing, okay? Like, you're really trying to say that her positivity is dangerous when it's helping millions, literally millions of women. Like, if you haven't noticed between part 1 and part 2, they haven't mentioned a single example of how her content is hurting people. They're just saying, oh, it's misleading. They're saying, well, that's not exactly accurate. So they're like, she's not perfect. But nowhere did they say, if you take her advice, this bad thing will happen to you. She's gonna mess up your mental health because this and this and that leads to this and this and that. You'll have these health effects. They haven't said anything like that. And I got a comment from part 1 that just perfectly described exactly what I'm talking about, where they said that Frumpy Fit says there's a gray area, but she's making the gray area to fit Joe in because she doesn't actually belong there. Like, she kept equating Joe to Chloe Tang and saying, Chloe Tang is misleading. She puts thumbnails saying you'll get abs in 2 weeks. She keeps doing all these unrealistic expectations, but she never showed any evidence of Joe doing that. And then said,
but I think like there's definitely a difference between ethical clickbaiting and non-ethical clickbaiting. But I don't think that line is necessarily drawn clearly in the sand. I think it's a bit grayer and unclear.
But where's Joe's
like, for
line?
example, and so GrowWithJo, Chloe Ting, all these different people fall more in the grayer area.
That means that you're saying Joe is as misleading as Chloe Ting. So that was a lie. It was beyond misleading. It was just a flat out lie. So again, this doesn't warrant you to make an exposure video because she's not doing anything to hurt people. So even if her positivity is annoying, it's not harmful. And toxic positivity is damaging for your psyche and damaging for your overall mental health. The reason why you are doing toxic positivity right now is because you're expecting for her to be as informative and as considerate as possible. And you holding her to this perfect expectation of consideration, of putting her brand to the side to just inform people, which will cause no one to watch and get healthy, is you being toxic in the name of positivity. You can't look at 10 comments of hers without seeing multiple people saying how much she's helping them. That's how helpful she is. It's something out of a dream. Anytime I've ever watched like fitness stuff on TV, ads on YouTube, it's all bullshit. This is real. She's actually improving people's health. And again, you could be skinny, you could be fat, you could be young, you can be old, you could have no kids or be a mom, and it still helps. You could be in or out of shape. It can improve your mentality, teach you things you didn't know. This is insane what you're saying right now.
Yourself up to the truth because you're so fearful of being negative or misleading people. It can mean that you aren't opening yourself up to the truth because you're so fearful of being negative. Or
you mean like how you said you read comments sometimes? That's because you're fearful of what the comment may say, and that's why you're not reading them all the way through. So apply it to yourself.
Experiencing something negative, not wanting to watch a video because it criticizes someone and it's too negative. Maybe you could have learned something really important if you had stuck through it.
Maybe you would have learned something really important if you had stuck through that comment section.
It's not good to be negative all the time, but it's also not good to be positive all the time.
She's not positive all the time. She's not positive 24/7. She's a human being. It's like a persona. It's how you carry yourself on your channel because that's what people remember you by, and it helps people to see someone smiling back at them, telling them, let's do do this together. Grow with me.
And to call people miserable because they criticized your favorite.
She acts like being called miserable is the worst thing that they could ever say about her. And the reason why is because she's probably been called that, or she identifies with it in some way, because there's no other reason to obsess over it so much.
Also not good to be positive all the time. And to call people miserable because they criticized your favorite influencer. A lovely patron let me know
Nobody said she was their favorite influencer. They said that she helped them with their weight and their health. But again, this is absolutism. It's either all the way one way or all the way another way. All right, what's she say here?
Because they criticized your favorite influencer. A lovely patron let me know that this channel, Team for Never Lean, I like that name, he did a video. He actually did 2 videos on GrowWithJo with very similar critiques as Frumpy Fit.
Somewhat like clickbaity titles like 50-minute lower belly to batter fat burn for beginners.
And wow. What do we have here? Someone with 23,000 views. Oh, another one with 35,000 views. 32,000 views. And what's the name of the channel? Team for Never Lean. Another fucking fitness person. But you don't see her as competition or anything. That's not even in your mind at all. No, it has nothing to do with that. Okay.
Frumpy Fit.
Somewhat like clickbaity titles like 50-minute lower belly to batter fat burn for beginners. This kind of does imply a bit of spot reduction of fat, like lower belly to batter fat burn, and I don't actually see her stating anywhere that you can't spot reduce fat, even in the disclaimer at the bottom.
But he did not get such a vitriolic response. If you go down to the
vitriolic, like what kind of, why would you even use words like that? I just read to you the type of comments that were under her videos. This ain't it, girl, and you're miserable is vitriolic?
comments, people are saying, hey, I've lost weight with her, but I don't see anyone saying you're trashing people or you're a miserable person.
Holy shit. Like, and I mean, you didn't read all the comments though, so who knows? Fuck.
Now I could say, oh, sexism. Clearly, I don't know. There could be lots of reasons. I think he's a little bit more light in his delivery as
Oh, so he's not as miserable, you mean? Like,
Frumpy Fit says she's a very serious person and she comes across as more serious.
Miserable.
And also the audience could be completely different. I mean, number one, his videos didn't get near as many views.
Yeah, so it could just be his subscribers.
So maybe it just didn't reach the crazy hardcore Joe fans.
Crazy hardcore. So it's not okay to call someone miserable, but it is okay to call someone crazy. Like, understand that there is a wave of people talking about how damaging it is to call someone crazy, and I don't agree with that personally. But I'm just saying, in the populace, it's way more damaging to the average person to hear the word crazy than it is to hear the word miserable. So you got it backwards, even in an objective sense, or looking at the average subjective view.
The final thing I have to talk about is Joe's big booty tight tummy video program, because I think this is possibly the worst thing because she's asking for money, $97.99. So big booty, right? You're gonna get a big booty without any equipment.
Y'all are full on trying to expose this woman. Like, oh my God. So you mean to tell me that she has a workout program that people can choose to pay for that probably has some benefits for you to work out, since, you know, none of the people who support her have ever said that she scammed them out of their money, or at least you're not seeing those comments, or else you would have posted them in your videos. I haven't seen those comments. And despite the fact she has all that free content and all that other stuff, oh, God forbid she say that you can get a big booty with no equipment. Like, did you actually see why she said that or how? So it's like you don't even know what she's trying to teach people. You didn't say what the whole point of the plan is because you're not going to pay for it. So just shut up about it. Like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. But they're legitimately trying to paint her out to be some sort of scam artist. And if you really feel that way, then why are you doing her workouts?
You can certainly build some amount of muscle if you are a
Also, you can get some of what she's saying then.
beginner, but you have to be very, very, very specific in order to build meaningful amounts of muscle without any equipment.
You mean consistency?
Consistent.
I really hate how people argue stuff. It's like, again, they just take it to the furthest extreme to drive a certain point home, and then you can see the wheels turning in their head to try to do this mental gymnastics of justifying how exaggerated their explanations are. Like, to say that you have to take this really strict diet and regimen to have a big butt is just not the case. Most people who work out really realize that their butt looks bigger when they get in shape. Why? It's because your butt gets more toned naturally and you lose back fat, which makes your butt look bigger. And there's a few other factors. Like, just because someone calls something a big butt doesn't necessarily mean that they quite literally mean a big butt. This is when we go back to like colloquial phrases and stuff like that. If somebody is saying that their plan is to give you a tight tummy and a big butt, then that would most likely mean that because your stomach is getting smaller, it's going to make your butt naturally appear bigger. Like, I'm losing my mind trying to explain this stuff because I really feel like I shouldn't have to, but like, whatever, let's go on.
It is really hard. There is a reason 99% of people choose to use weights, choose to use extra resistance, not just their own.
She has an app that people can join.
But you've got to stay very consistent to see true and lasting results. Staying consistent with your workouts is one part of the equation, but the other part is making sure your nutrition is right on track. The GrowWithJo app makes that so easy. This month, the month of June, we are focusing on the 25-day nutrition challenge. We will have a vegan, classic, and vegetarian diet in the app for you to follow that is customized to your needs so that you reach your goals quickly and efficiently.
Not only that, but she also has plenty of tips about stuff with exercise when going to the gym. And then, not to mention the really big one that you both seem to be forgetting somehow in these videos, but she has a ton of free content for you to use in order to get healthy.
It is really hard. There is a reason 99% of people choose to use weights, choose to use extra resistance, not just their own body weight. And also, a lot of us are just never going to have a big booty. It's just not, it's not in our genes. And the amount of muscle we would have to gain in order to do that, again, you're going to need weights. You're going to need access to a gym or have a really good home gym with a squat rack and be really dedicated and diligent with your eating. Make sure you are eating enough in order to gain muscle and do that for years on end.
Or maybe the way your body's shaped with the fat and the rolls make your butt appear smaller than it is. So when you lose the weight, it just looks bigger. That's the case for most women. But you're not going to mention that. Not only was Jo one of these women who had back fat, so it just made her butt look flat, but there's just women with that kind of square body. So your butt isn't bigger, but it looks a lot bigger. And that could be what she's talking about.
I feel cleansed. It's out of my system. Thank you so much.
I feel cleansed after shitting all over this woman. I got to just clean out my colon and just like dump all over her. And I'm so happy that I was able to do that because, you know, that was the right thing to do today. I'm proud of myself.
For watching, everybody. I would love it if you would subscribe for more content like
support me, you know, like I need some support.
this. Maybe not. I don't know. But thank you. Thank you, of course, to all of my patrons at patreon.com/UnnaturalVegan. I do upload 2 exclusive videos there a month for $5 plus patrons. One of them.
She didn't even see if the program works for anybody. That's what's so... You want to talk about evil, miserable, misleading, dangerous, all these words. And what's so disingenuous is that you didn't even see people's ratings. That's... If you're going to bring up anyone's program, you look at the ratings, you look at how people feel about it, their response to it, and also how old the program is. Like, is it an older program? Because one thing that she talked about in one of her videos, I don't remember which one at this point, and if I can find it, I'll post it. But if not, it is there, and I'll try to put in the description at the least or in the iCard. But Jo was talking about how she was a fitness trainer, I believe, before she had her kid, and then after she had her son, she realized that she was doing a lot of things wrong.
And I can still remember the first time that I worked out, again, postpartum. It felt like the most challenging thing I'd ever done. It somewhat hurt my ego about like what I knew about fitness and felt like I could do. A lot of the exercises that I tried to do, I wasn't able to do them, or like it was almost like my body had to like completely refigure out how to work out.
So if she came up with that program at the time, there may be some things about that program that aren't exactly right, but it overall helped people, so she kept it. And she also has an app that you can join, which you didn't mention at all. She has an app to help women where she posts even more content, and she'll actually go through the workouts with you and explain stuff. You're not talking about any of that shit because you don't actually care to inform anyone of anything. It's so easy to just look at somebody who's putting in a lot of effort and to talk shit about them. And I'm gonna say one last thing here. for these two women, they're the classic case of a Karen. A Karen is a white woman perceived as entitled or demanding beyond the scope of what is normal. And they're clearly Karens because both of them are demanding for Jo to be more responsible with her content when she's doing what everyone is doing on YouTube everywhere. And they're making these videos saying Jo specifically is misleading you, not YouTube is misleading you, YouTubers are misleading you, I've misled you in the past, none of that. She is misleading you. And that is misleading because the focus is misleading. And so with all that being said, this shit is toxic. You guys are part of the problem. You are the reason why YouTube is getting worse and worse, because whenever people try to improve themselves and do things for the better, you want to tear them down and rip them to shreds. And this is why most YouTubers don't give a fuck about their content, because the second they do, someone like you comes along and says they're not doing enough. And a lot of you know about this in real life. If you actually put your best foot forward, people hold you to a higher standard. If you don't give a shit at all, people don't expect anything from you, and they let you just get away with whatever you want, and it's disgusting, okay? There are so many YouTubers you can make videos about where you can actually help people and save lives. There are people on this website that are giving people eating disorders and hurting them, and you can make those kind of videos and solely focus on that instead of someone who's majority helping millions and millions of women, and she's exponentially growing. But you're like, no, it's not enough, even though this is your old ass content, even though you're technically wrong here, and even though your lies are actually helping people more, we're not helping as many people as you are. Like, the truth is right there in front of you. And if you don't agree and you still seriously think that Jo needs to change her formatting, then I want you to start a fucking channel where you make the kind of content she does and does the dance workouts that she does that are not a copy of hers. You make your own unique ones to music. Since you said that her royalty-free stuff is shit, don't use any royalty-free music. Since you said that she shouldn't be using those terms, don't use those terms. And since you said that she should be informing people about all those things, put that at the beginning of your videos and do your fucking workout without a smile on your face and see how many views and subs you get. And after 3+ years of doing that, come back to me and I bet you won't even have a fraction of the success that she has. And if you do, then good for you. You prove that it's possible. But rather than you putting in the hard work to prove it to be true, you're just going to tell her to do this thing that you don't even know will actually help women. And you're not helping women. So yeah, Jo isn't destroying YouTube. She isn't hurting YouTube. She isn't hurting anyone on YouTube, but you are. All right, so really important thing that we need to go through in the comments section. UnnaturalVegan says, just to reiterate, I really like GrowWithJo's workouts. I messed up my back doing something I know I shouldn't do, so her easy walking workouts are the only thing I've been doing for the past couple of weeks. I'm grateful for her videos. And most of her recent Vones are clickbait free? Oh, ones. Most of her recent ones are clickbait free, not like her old hip dips workout bullshit. Why didn't you put that in your video? So you appreciated Frumpy Fit talking about the whole, oh, even if GrowWithJo puts in the description, it's not readily available, but you disclaimer that you appreciate her newer content in a comment underneath your video instead of the video that was criticizing her. Like, seriously, come on. And then she says, the big booty program still irks me though, and I really don't like the claim YouTubers must do clickbait to be successful. They do not. Even though Frumpy Fit used clickbait in her thumbnail and then you used her thumbnail blurred for your thumbnail. They do not. If they can't be successful without it, maybe their content just sucks. So are you saying that Jo's content sucks? And the only reason why it's successful is because of clickbait? Because you just got done saying that you liked her content. Like, you're not making sense. Clickbait helps content. Some people need it to get started. Some people just cannot grow without it. And that's because of a bunch of algorithmic issues. YouTube does not help you find your audience like TikTok does. YouTube forces you to have to go and find your audience. So sometimes you have to use clickbait to get around this stupid algorithm that this website has. She doesn't know anything about that though. And then she talks about all this other shit at the end. And she's like, oh, these people don't use clickbait. So one of her responses says, why don't you focus on what you have to offer versus finding something wrong with someone else's offer? It's very tacky to create an entire video to defame someone's character. And that's the best way to sum it up right there. Even here it's like, this video is just hating, be original, do your own content. It's like, do the shit yourself since you want to criticize it so much, and then get back to me about what Jo should have done. So Jo actually commented on this video. Here it is. And Joe says, God bless. I hope you continue to enjoy my workouts. Thanks for sharing them. Because, you know, UnnaturalVegan claimed, oh, I love her workouts. It's helped me and blah, blah, blah. So Joe's like, thank you. And then one of the responses says, I feel like your response here was overly positive, kind of proving the whole toxic positivity thing true. Yeah, okay, we'll get back to that in a minute because that's bullshit. And then it says, nobody does passive aggressive like self-righteous Christians. Bless your heart. So you just criticized her for being passive aggressive in a positive way, and then you did exactly the same thing. So why even criticize it? I don't know why people do that. And then to do it in the same sentence is just fucking stupid. But what these people aren't addressing is, what do you expect for her to do? She only has a limited number of options in responding to this shit. She can either acknowledge all the criticisms, which means she's going to have to address them, and that's a very tightrope to walk, because if she addresses it too negatively, everyone's going to say, you're negative, Joe. I thought that you were a positive person. If she doesn't address it seriously enough, they're going to be like, you're too positive, Joe. So she can do that, or she can say, none of that stuff that you said is true, or most of it isn't true. And if she does that, that's argumentative, so people are going to call her negative again and attack her for it. She can go in the opposite direction and just apologize just to get it over with. But if she does that, then that's acknowledging or kind of admitting that these fake bullshit claims with no actual evidence or backing are true. So then people are gonna be like, oh, so you really were misleading people. Oh, so your content is hurting people. So she can't do that. If she just doesn't say anything at all, people are gonna be like, you're not gonna say anything, and all these people are criticizing you. You can't take criticism. And if she says thank you, then people are gonna say, oh, well, yeah, you're just being a passive aggressive Christian. But there's no option for her. She's stuck between a rock and a hard place, because when people are slandering you, there's nothing that you can do. The only option that you have is to hope that the people who are looking at the information can see through it, because it's such a tightrope to walk. And I know this from experience. I'll just show you the playlist here. Even when I responded to it, they just got even more aggressive. When I ignored it, they were more aggressive. And when I tried to own up to certain things, they got more aggressive. It didn't matter what I said or what I did. They just get more aggressive, because I did not have a fan base or some sort of following that could cancel out all their criticism. So I can speak from experience and say, it doesn't matter how you address it. If someone is making false claims about you and taking what you say out of context, like people did with me, then no matter what you say, it just fuels the flame. And that's why these videos are so harmful, because you're saying a bunch of stuff about a woman that's not true. So she cannot defend herself. What are you supposed to say to that? It's so fucking stupid. Like, yeah, you can convince some people, you can't convince everyone. Anyway, so the comment section is bullshit. You know, the people who have any issue with Joe in this comment section, none of these people are thinking critically. And the people who are supporting her, thank God there's people who are actually supporting this woman. And I hope they continue to support her, because at this point, it's looking like there's just going to be this like wave of Karens criticizing Joe. Like, I swear to God, if I see one more white woman come out and they're like, GrowWithJo is misleading you, I mean, I'm going to do a response again, because this is legit bullshit, but I really hope this is the end of it. Shut the fuck up and leave her the fuck alone. So that's all I had to say about this. This was fucking ridiculous. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.